Have we seen the end of Miami Heat culture? Should the Miami Heat take a gap year instead of trying to go after some of these whales after the weekend's report? All that and more in another episode of Miami Heat Talk. Guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe as we push for 7,000 subscribers. Now that we got that good stuff out the way, you know what time it is. Hit that intro.
That is enough said.
Happy Monday, Heat. Your boy Ernest here. Back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Hope you guys had an amazing weekend. So sorry I couldn't get a video for you guys. Was out traveling, doing the wrestling thing. You know the drill. But I'm back. It's Monday. And together, let's go on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. And look, I'll be honest, you guys. There ain't really nothing to talk about. I know people are talking about this potential rumor, this little deal here. But look, there's really nothing going on in Miami Heat basketball. You got the NBA Finals going on. Game 2, OKC destroyed Indiana. They're tied 1-1. It's a series. So right now, that's what's going to be done. That's pretty much what's being done in the NBA right now. Nobody's really talking about teams. Nobody's really focused on what's going on. It's more like, let's get over the NBA Finals. We'll get to the draft. But then, July 1st, you know what time it is. Free agency. And we got almost 3 weeks left until free agency. So it is literally right around the corner, Heat Nation. But there's a lot of stuff that was coming out over the weekend. And I noticed that Heat fans, especially on Twitter, was freaking out. So kind of wanted to talk about it. There were reports over the weekend indicating that Giannis Antetokounmpo may look to stay with Milwaukee. And that other teams are coming up and looking to be real suitors over the Miami Heat for Kevin Durant. And Heat Nation freaking out because now they're thinking, what are we going to do? So have no fear, Heat Nation. Your boy Ernest is here, and I want to go ahead and put everyone's mind at ease. Now, look, we know right now in the offseason, the two major names that keep coming up is Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo. But we all know that Giannis Antetokounmpo is the prettiest girl in the dance. Now, my argument has been all these teams are going to be going after Giannis, and they're going to be holding for Giannis. And this is going to give the Miami Heat the competitive edge to swoop in and make a deal for Kevin Durant. Now there's reports that Houston, San Antonio, they're all pushing for KD. And now with this Giannis comment that Giannis may not want to be traded, that's what's freaking out Heat Nation, because now people are going to pivot back to Kevin Durant. I'm going to let this be known right now, you guys. In my opinion, there's no way that Giannis doesn't ask out. I mean, if he doesn't ask out, I'll be blown away. Because you have Damian Lillard, who's making a maximum level contract, eating up that salary, who's not going to play next season. That team cannot contend. You saw it. They lost in the first round of the playoffs. They can't upgrade their team because they have no money. They have no first round draft picks until 2031. They're also a second apron team, so they can't do anything as far as trades goes. They're stuck. So why would Giannis stay? Makes no sense. So I don't believe that report. Now, going back to the Kevin Durant thing. Yes, I will say that there's other teams that are a threat for Kevin Durant. Houston, Minnesota. You also have, the Knicks. I also brought up earlier, my God, I'm brain farting. I just said it earlier. But yeah, you have a lot of teams, you guys, that are vying for Kevin Durant. So it's going to be really difficult. Oh, San Antonio, that was the other team. But it's going to be really difficult for the Heat to compete with a lot of these teams. Why? Because the Heat don't have as good as assets as some of these other teams have. When I'm talking about assets, I'm talking about players that they're willing to give up. Because it's not like the Heat can't compete with these teams. The Heat have incredible assets like Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, and Kel'el Ware. They're just trying to get one of these players with these guys because they don't really have much after that. That's where the problem lies. Right now, what the Heat are trying to do, they're trying to comprise a package of their 3 first-round draft picks, not all of them, but, that's what they have. Young assets like Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, Pallel Larson, possibly Kel'el Ware, and then adding one of their expiring contracts like Terry Rozier, Duncan Robinson, which is really sweet because it's not fully guaranteed. And then you also have Andrew Wiggins, who's on a player option for 2027. That's what the Heat is trying to deal. A package surrounding those 3 types, not having to give up Hero, Bam, and Kel'el Ware. But that's the problem. A lot of these other teams like Houston, which has multiple young assets and multiple future first-round draft picks. Then you have San Antonio with the 2nd pick. You have Dallas with the 1st pick. You also have OKC that can be players if they don't win the finals, which is not really likely. The New York Knicks, now that they released Tom Thibodeau and they got bounced in the Eastern Conference Finals, they're looking to be players, throwing out Karl Anthony Towns' name. Detroit Pistons may be a player. There's going to be a lot of other teams that can compete with the Heat as far as assets go. So the main question is, if the Heat aren't able to trade for Kevin Durant, Giannis, or another player, what do they do? Now, other players may come up. You may have players available like Trae Young, Ja Morant, Lauri Markkanen, just to name a few. There's a lot of other players. I saw a report about Cameron Johnson. I've seen oh my God, we've talked about so many different players here, you guys. But if history teaches us anything about this Miami Heat team, we haven't been able to get the job done. Especially since after we traded for Jimmy Butler. You haven't been able to land your guy. So what makes this offseason different? Well, that's going to be dependent on what the market is. But right now, you guys, if Giannis and Kevin Durant become available, there's a possibility that the Heat don't do anything. So what do you do after that? You have a gap year. That's basically what it is. And for those people that are screaming at the screen right now, yeah, I'm there with you. Inside, I'm screaming. And I know some people may be, what's a gap year? Well, a gap year means you just basically not tank, but you just have like a whatever year, which is what this team means. Middle of the pack. Maybe you can get top 6 if you can get a run going. Most likely you'll be a play-in team. Hopefully everyone can stay healthy. And then after 2026, when Duncan Robinson and Terry Rozier's contract expires, hopefully Andrew Wiggins opt out of his contract. Now you can have almost $80 million in cap space, and you don't have to worry about trading and trying to get these players. Now you can actually go for somebody in the open market. That's what a gap year is. But let's be real, these last 2 seasons have technically been gap years. And you haven't really done anything with them. So that's why Heat fans are annoyed. Heat fans are impatient, man. We want to see a contender now. I don't really think that it's like we want to see a contender. We just want a decision to be made. What are you going to do? This whole staying like in the middle and like trying to contend but not being willing to give up all of your assets, you got to stop dipping your toe in the sand. You either need to jump in the water or get the hell out. Figure out what you want to do. But I will say this, I'll keep it 100, you guys. This team, they're not the worst, they're not the best, but it would be a little interesting if you don't get any whales, but you're able to keep this roster. You have a $14 million mid-level exception. You have a $5 million biannual exception. You can add players to this roster. You have your 20th pick in the draft. You may have some flexibility to upgrade this roster a little bit this offseason. Now you have Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero leading this team. You have Kel'el Ware with another year. Hopefully Jaime Jaquez and Nikola Jovic can take that extra step. You may be able to put a team together that not can contend, but can be a fun team next season. And that's one thing that we may just need to accept. I called this team the youth movement last year. We only gave them a half a season. This is how impatient we are. Maybe we should give this team a year. See what they can do. And at the end of the day, if they're not good, if we have our answer, well then guess what happens in the 2026 offseason? You have your first round draft pick completely unprotected, and you're going to have over $80 million in potential cap space. So now you can make some moves. All we got to do is wait a year, Heat Nation. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Should we be desperate to go after Kevin Durant and Giannis? If it happens, cool. But if not, sell the farm, try to trade Tyler and Bam, or just say chill for 1 year. Let this youth movement develop another year. Let's see what they can do. They were haggled with the whole Jimmy Butler drama in the offseason. Let's see what they can do together. It'd be interesting. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, Heat Nation. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe as we push for 7,000 subscribers. Thank y'all so much for the continued support. And until next time, your boy Ernest out. And that is enough said.